Yes, we're wrong.
Okay, what I do is I help people get in alignment with what they are and to release what they're not. Because what they're not wasn't working and it never was working, and it will not work. But what they can do exceedingly well, exceptionally well, is be what they are. And very often, particularly for many of the souls that have come onto the planet, that means you all that out there listening, and Angela holding the camera, with great poise, I may add, and myself, is to do something that hasn't been seen on the planet fully. And because it's what you truly are, you will be excellent and unlike anybody else, and it is needed. You are the medicine. Not to cure, but to bring in harmony. To move everybody into harmony with themselves. So what I do is I help people move into what they really truly are. And by connecting more with that, identifying more with that, it changes their life and it transforms their life, and they start to really live a life, and we all benefit from it in many ways. Whatever they introduce that we need what they bring. What everyone brings, it is so needed. So please we all need to get to what we came in here to bring. You know, what if I said, oh, I can't sing like that, I sound like a girl, I'm not going to get a date, or it's not macho enough. Who could give a hoot? Or if I said, you know, Lord, I think it's great what you gave me, but I think I need to repackage it before I present it to the public. No, we just want to hear, or how about, you know, anything. Something that is, whatever we have to offer, somebody needs it, and we need to give it.
Yes.
But Ganesha says the shortest distance between 2 points is joy. Not a straight line, it's joy. And if you think about it, if I'm holding joy, guess what it's going to bring me to what I desire as a vibrational match? Faster than anything else is joy. In other words, if I'm in a place, if I'm holding joy, that's going to bring me directly to whatever I want to go. And that's what he means by the shortest distance between 2 points is joy. So Jesus was a Christed being, you're a Christed being, everyone that's listening is a Christed being. How much are you in your mess, and how much are you in your intentional confusion or ignorance, and how much are you holding and being in your light? Doesn't mean you have to be a religious person. It's not about being religious, it's about being in your quotient of light. So what I do is I create what's called non or unnatural resonance. I vibrate something that affects your vibration and bring you to a high vibration. And at a high vibration, you have a different experience, physically and non-physically, and you think differently, you make different choices, and you create new things. That's why I quote Albert Einstein, therefore at a higher vibration or at a lower, you can't, the solution of a problem cannot be found at the same level the problem was created at, right? So at a higher vibration, we learn that there's no problem, and that's not really me. This is me, and then everything opens up, and disease drops out. I'm sure you're rolling, yeah?
I am. This is RogerAnsenelli.
Hello, people out there.
Hi.
Okay, so basically, I'm known as a sound healer, right? I'm probably, when I first started doing sound healing, I didn't choose to do sound healing. I had a bunch of mystical experiences. And And since a mystical experience means what I mean by that is I had not a religious experience.
Mm-hmm.
I don't do religion. I don't come from that place. I don't go there.
Mm-hmm.
Although there are wonderful jewels in every religion,
Mm-hmm.
I don't find them to be really about inclusivity. And love is for everybody. So a mystical experience is not based upon someone's religious background or origin. It's based upon you being in alignment with a higher vibrational reality.
Mm-hmm.
And so I didn't think I was in alignment with them. I was just living my life, and I had a bunch of various mystical experiences that changed my life, basically.
Can you tell me about maybe the first one?
Started to see lights.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And with the lights, being aware that they were looking at me.
Mm-hmm.
Like orbs.
Orbs.
Say.
Sure.
Usually you see them in photographs. I would see the orbs. And I would see particularly a blue orb.
Mm.
Beautiful blue. We don't even have that value in life, that color.
Wow.
And I was aware that this was looking at me. I wasn't just looking at it, and that's kind of a scary thing. The other one...
Were you at first scared? Or were you... did it feel inviting, or...
You're taking in many, many things at the same
Sure.
time, because first of all, you're looking at something that's appearing to you, and you're thinking first, everything's like in nanoseconds. What is that? And with an oh my God, and what is that? And that's looking at me. I'm not just looking at it, so you're aware of it having a consciousness.
Right.
And so on and so forth. And then it goes away, and you're just like, did that just happen? And you realize, yes, that did. And then it happens again.
Mm-hmm.
Or having, being woken with an angelic being revealing itself in your room in the wee hours of the morning, where it's completely pitch black. And you think it's a sunrise in your room, but it's not. It's an angel.
Mm-hmm.
No wings, it's just a mass of light and energy. And you're blinded by it, and there's awareness that they're looking at you, and there's an age to this being that redefines what we know as age and wisdom and love. And then you start to realize, how do I know what these things are? There's a knowing. There's an interpretation of vibration that you're able to categorize, and you know exactly what it is and who it is.
Wow. I think some people are more sensitive to these.
I think we're all as sensitive. I think depending on our life experiences and our journeys, help you to develop those tools or to shy away from them, to bury them. But we're all as sensitive.
Oh.
Okay.
You think so? All right.
Sure. When you're as a woman, you walk down the street, guys walking towards you down the block, you scan them. Should I walk this way or should I cross the street?
That
You
seems
scan
different.
people.
Yeah.
We all scan everybody all the time.
Okay, that's
I just happen to do it at my job.
That's interesting.
So I scan you. Like what came in for you when we first, what started coming up for you, because I get information, because you're going to ask me what do I do and how do I do it, and what is the most effective way, maybe, and whatever question you might have, or Carrie might have, or whoever might have, is how does it work? Well, for example, I get information from people that have passed on.
Sure.
Like I was in a store yesterday, 2 different stores, and this whole week has been about people's deceased mothers coming in. Mother coming. When mother comes in, it's strong. Mother love is strong. And I was in a store last evening, and this guy asked, what do I do? And I was like, okay. I said, well, I'm a healer. And he says, oh, cool. What's that? Meanwhile, I said to him, well, for example, this is not really what I do, but one of the things I do is your mother comes in. And he interrupted me. But what I was going to say to him Your mother comes in, even though there's distance and you haven't seen her, there's been a long time, and there's distance. Distance meaning they weren't exactly close, like there was separation.
Yep.
You know, there's just me just touching upon their file, so to speak. All right?
Yep.
I didn't get to. He says, I'll stop right there. You couldn't be more wrong. I said, but he says, but it's okay. I said, well, your mother's in spirit, right? And he says, yes, but she died when I was 12, and she was a drug addict. And he had tattoos all over him, and there was a lot of... So you can see how that affected his life. I'm not saying if you have a tattoo, your mom passed on when you were 12. But what I'm saying is, I told him, well, you didn't let me finish. But love, just because he has a definition of his mom, love will still come forth.
Mm-hmm.
What is expressed on the soul level is different from what's expressed on the personality level.
Mm.
So I learned a lot about everyone, about life, and really what life is. And it's not limited to the physical from everyone that comes in. I am gifted by your life-lived lessons and experiences. And the group that comes in for you, your guides, the angelic realm, or people in your life that have passed on. And it's very moving. I had this one lady come in. She's famous film producer, and I'm sure everyone out there has seen one of her films, but I'm not gonna say it because I have to think about privacy and not making it up. But
Penny Marshall.
No. But what came in for her was all this love, and I'm doing, because I'm a sound healer, so one of the things I do is basically what that is a frequency worker.
You would call what you do you call yourself a sound healer?
A sound healer first.
Yes.
And that means everyone on the planet, every soul is a change catalyst. Not a catalyst for change. We are a change catalyst. That means your presence on the planet, just by drawing breath, you bring about change on the planet to a higher vibration.
Okay. Yes.
Okay? So, you're mostly water. What moves through water the greatest is sound, frequency. So you're basically a natural amplifying vessel. Perfect machine of vibration. So if you have a thought, guess what? It's going to vibrate out. And it's going to vibrate out from your body to such an extent, and it's going to go into this field that they call the quantum field or the 0-point energy field, right? But just call it a field, or I call it the field of the Lord. So whatever you think, whatever you feel, whatever you say, words have vibration. Think of Dr. Emoto's work, right? Every action will go out vibrationally.
Yes.
And then you'll receive back. There's a law of the circle. Energy that is sent out will always return to its source in accumulation of itself. So it will go out, but then you'll receive it back in accumulation of itself. Mm. So what I do is, and you can only vibrate, let me rephrase that, you can only heal or bring into wholeness what you're vibrating. So whatever you're vibrating is what you're addressing at that point in your evolution. Mm. But we're all on the planet now to bring up the vibration to a new experience, to a new lived human design, experience, definition, and thus direction. So what I do, my soul's mission, not my personality mission, I assure you, is to, I've come to learn, is to allow myself to be sung by the higher realms. I don't think of these melodies. I don't know, were you playing it while I was singing earlier, like a moment ago? Was it on? When did the camera come on?
Oh.
Or when I was doing the bowling?
Yes.
Okay, so I haven't sung yet today, so it doesn't probably sound the greatest, except when you heard me outside.
I heard, and
okay.
when you were singing when you did the bowl. And sounds beautiful.
Well, thank you. But they'll sing me. The first melody is from the angelic realm. The second one was from the Divine Mother, or I'll call Mary Mary, because it's Mother Mary, Mary Magdalene. I'm not into religion, but I just recognize those are the vibrations or the expressions of source, because everything is source. As humans, we like to break it up into who and who's from what and where and what religion and that. It's all nonsense. Love is love, right? Mm-hmm. Every color in the crayon box is just a color, but it's just a crayon, okay? So anyway,
Yeah.
so what will come in is melody. There are different kinds of sound here. Sounds. There's some that look like this. You know, I have a good friend that finds that very annoying when he goes to listen to those sound healers. And they're very good because what they're doing is they're putting forth a pitch, a vibration, a frequency to affect the frequency you're holding, to raise it, to change it, or to shift something. All right? So what I get complete melodies, or I get indigenous languages, or I get languages that are either from ancient Earth or just ancient beyond. So I'll get, what comes in is right now is, it means a child that is loved can do anything. This comes in from Divine Mother. Almost 10 times out of 10, when I'm asked to do this in front of 50 or 5,000 people, and it's been that, this melody will always come in. And it's completely about love, and it means a child that is loved can do anything. And the main message that the people on the earth need to get, or we all do, is that we are loved and we can do anything. All right? We like to state things and defend things to death that are not working. I don't know why, but we tend to do that. As opposed to saying, let me have another idea or another thought and try something else and see how that goes. Just like very much this series you're putting together, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Yay. So, and usually right there, and I'll say it now, love is strong. And then it repeats because I was about to do it before. Because the earth comes in. And the earth comes in, I can tell you right now, because I get the information behind the melody, it's because your love for the earth. You, Angela.
Really?
A strong love for the earth. So the earth comes in.
I do love the earth.
Right.
Well,
who doesn't? But
some people are not.
People are just not going to. But for you, it's very important.
It's very important.
Right. And so what comes in? The earth comes forth to love you back, and it's saying, "Thank you." I'm just telling you, the earth is.
I love the earth.
A cluster of consciousness that exists for us to have our experience on its back.
Yeah.
That's the truth of the matter.
That is true.
So it so appreciates your love. So that's why that lower tone comes in. Also what came in, so to give you an idea of what I do, that's just one. I get from different places melodies come in. Sometimes, Anteado! And this language that's like ancient Tibetan Chinese comes in, and I'm letting it loose, and it's all frequency.
Yeah.
Or different things that I didn't know existed, or from different, let's say, religions or ethnic or origins. I was just like, really? That's okay, and it comes in, and I just give it.
Sure.
Or, like for example, your father, since the moment I got your thing, comes up, all right? And that's a really big thing for you, isn't it?
Yes.
Masculine.
Yes.
So, is he in spirit?
Yes.
Yeah. So, because your father, the moment, what happens is as if spirit will say, oh, I can get to her through him. And they'll come in. And he comes in, really, do you have a sister?
Yes.
Is it just you two, or is there a brother?
Brother.
Yeah, and is there one more or no?
There's more.
Oh, there's one more. But right now, that's now we're in a guessing game.
Yes.
But there's still, he comes in specifically for you. He came in with the first time I got your, when I got your submission, to my website, and you wrote the note to meet me and all that. And after I read it, and I'm like kind of doing something mindless, all of a sudden, Father. And he wants you to know his presence, and he's always present, and how he's proud of you. All right, and he loves you, and you know that. He says you know that, right?
Yeah.
Yes or no?
I do.
There's a button there.
Yes.
So now this is how it works. I'm not Teresa from Long Island.
I know you're not.
Because what happens with me is what will come in is what's needed. It's not, I just don't do medium. And I do quite a bit of medium.
Yeah.
I had this one guy come in, I knew he was coming in to talk about his sexuality and how he also finds men attractive. So he came in, I knew that was the day he was going to say it, I just knew it.
Yeah.
And he's well known, and he'd want anyone to know, and so he found me, which is not where he lives. So it was safe, like a safe house, right? And I knew he was going to say it that day, and what came in is his father. And he started to weep, and his father kept calling me boy.
His father did.
Yeah, and I said, I don't know why, but your father keeps calling me boy.
He's calling you boy.
Yeah. I said, oh my God, that is my father. And he says, you don't understand. I said, that would be correct. And he said, well, my father, you have to understand, when we used to have this person and this person, famous people over, he would refer to them as boy. You know, grown men.
He would.
Yeah, so it was very interesting. They'll always make them, but in your case, your father's not saying much because he really wants you to say how you feel. And sometimes they'll do that. They'll just say, I'm here. Because there's, and what I get is that there's unresolved, or there's like a stuff. Correct?
Yes, very
Were
correct.
you there for his passing or no?
I was not there at that moment.
Right.
I was not there at that very moment.
Yeah.
No, I was going to get someone.
Right, but you did a lot for him.
I don't feel like I did.
Why?
It,
So what is? I know. This because what I'm getting, if I had to put it in language, there's a regret.
oh, so much.
So he wants you to
Deep.
Right, and he wants you to get rid of it.
I know it's so
And this is
interesting
not
that
the first time you hear this.
I talk to him all the time.
Right, I'm listening.
And thank you, Roger. I love my father more than anybody.
Oh, I know. That's well. Trust me.
I know
there's
you
so
know
much
that.
love here. So what comes in for me in my work, since I want to make sure I'm fulfilling the project, is to get people to love.
Well, he did. That's all. My father was.
So he shows up and he wants you to get to the love.
Yeah.
Why aren't you? Why are you keeping yourself?
I'm punished because
Right.
I regressed when he was sick. He was sick for 3 years, and the last year was.
And what did you do during that time? Did you travel the world, or where were you?
I was there.
Doing what?
I was trying to help him.
You were trying, or you were?
I was trying to.
Who was taking care of him?
My sister Teresa mostly, and that's probably the sister you're seeing.
Yeah.
My sister Teresa.
I don't see her. I get sister. Sometimes I see. I like to be really specific.
My sister Teresa, my
I don't
sister
feel
Jennifer.
people should be jerked around with information that has to do with their lives. And I have a pet peeve about being very accurate and saying it to what I get.
Yes.
Sometimes I'll get images. Sometimes I'll get word for word.
Yeah.
So I'm really okay. Did you and do you love your father?
Yes.
A lot. Like you
more,
can even talk about it.
I feel like I knew my father in many lives.
And you'd be correct on that. You knew that.
I feel like I was married to him.
Okay.
I do.
Right.
I feel like he was my brother, my husband, my father,
grandfather,
my grandfather, my child.
Yep.
He was many, and I was all those things to him.
You're right. You'd be right. But you don't need me to say that.
That's what I feel.
I want you to honor your wisdom that is not limited to the third dimensional reality. We're no longer in 3D anyway. We're in 4, really moving. We've well past 4 going into 5, where time drops out. Time drops out in 4. But we really have no sense of time now. That's why it seems like Halloween was yesterday. Christmas has just passed us. Hanukkah has passed us. We're going towards Valentine's Day, and so there's this. It's not because you're doing one thing; it's because we can. It was a program, or it was a construct for us to slow everything down, to receive information or to experience these experiences that we can only digest, like with a spoon.
Yeah.
Okay? If you want to get every drop, you use a spoon, right? You don't use a fork.
Right.
Or you don't use chopsticks. Carrie. So, what's going on is we've advanced past that, so we're moving back into where time doesn't exist.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why, and you also, because of that, there's no sense of any longer that if someone's passed on, that we're separate from them. Because everything is in vibration, you can sense them, and there's this communal experience going on with physical and non-physical. With people that have passed, with beings that are not what we would call real, or even with our own non-physical selves. How come I know that? I was just thinking of you. They call and all this. There's this. We have our own internet.
Yeah.
It's called life, okay, or spirit.
Yes.
All right. So your father comes in, and he wants you to know, and this I can say to you. He knew you were there, and he knew you were showing up the most you could, the best you could. And in truth, and he says, you can, and he's funny because he's a little like blunt, and but he not in a flippant way. He says, you can tell me I'm wrong. He says, because you were, I know you love me. You love me, God, you love me so much then, and still do. Mm-hmm. What else could a man ask for? Mm. Correct? Right. What happened with the money?
Oh my God.
Because that comes up, I'm sorry.
Wow. That's amazing.
Kind of makes you want to pay me, right? What happened with money?
Yes.
This is not, okay, let's get ridiculous.
No, I'm not. I don't think
no,
you...
No,
I gotta...
I don't know. You have to give a seat if you
Can
want.
I?
Watch out, please. You're about to sit on the water. You know what?
Roger, you're hysterical.
Well,
Can I put this here?
Yeah, put it there, honey. What comes up for me is, and you know, this is why, like, if you watch Teresa, do you know Teresa Caputo?
Yes.
That's why I know she's always on the money, because when Spirit comes in, if someone's really reading you,
yes.
Spirit never comes in and says horrible things.
Okay.
Even when Spirit comes in, like I had this one lady come in, and I knew I was going to have a session with her. I overheard her voice in a store one day and just hit me. And I was like, why is this lady's voice resonating so much? First of all, this was her voice. Hello? Hello? I'm not exaggerating.
That's hysterical.
So if you're in a store waiting for, I was in a copy store, so I was waiting for my copies to be done, because I give lectures and workshops on vibrational medicine and healing. And I was like, and then a month later, sure enough, I get a phone call. Hello, Rod? I knew it was the whole thing, right? Again, the whole thing about clairvoyance or knowing things or psychic, it's just, you're just tapping into a field. You know, it's funny, I think you said this episode's going to be Dear Buddha. There's also a Buddhic field, which is pure love. But think of it as like similar to the Milky Way.
Is that God?
Yes, it's an expression of God. Everything is God.
Everything is God.
This table is God, this bowl is God, the cup is God. Everything. It's like, what do you want to do with God energy? Oh, you want to create that? Okay. I mean, you only create at the level you're vibrating. Because at the level you're vibrating, that's what you think is possible.
Oh, God.
And you're locked into that level of consciousness. So if you're locked into a level of consciousness of pain, or that level of vibration, because every emotion is a vibrational meter, literally, and this proof, this is science. So if you're in pain, you're going to create what? Experiences of pain. You might even create a disease. Usually that's where disease comes from. Disease. The root of all disease is that the life stream is not expressing itself fully, because it's not holding the consciousness that's either allowed or worthy, or it needs to be punished or suffer or victim. So what happens is they create something that fulfills that.
Yep.
It's just what I'm saying. But getting back to you, what comes in to free you to move more fully into love, because you don't love yourself enough. I'm sorry, it just comes out tough.
That is an understatement.
Okay, but stop saying that and start doing something about it. I'm blunt that way. In other words, this is not about let's be spiritual.
Right. No, it isn't.
And
I completely get that.
And one of the things you guys might want to catch me doing is giving a sound healing meditation, because that's what I do. One of the things I do here at my office and also in Manhattan is I give sound healing meditations where people come, and what comes in is a short message. You see me right on the board. Short message of different things, and I give the message. It takes 15 or 20 minutes, and then I give them two active meditations where they're actually transforming and moving into love, and I get melodies and pitches as they're doing it. So I give a meditation, and I go around with different crystal bowls singing, you know. So what will come in, and then what I was saying in regards to Teresa, is Spirit will always say something that's loving. Not to be nice, it's the whole focus is to move you into what you are, which is love, and that you have always been loved and you'll always be loved. So I had this woman come in, and what kept coming in for her session is that she's difficult. I'm not used to telling someone that. So I throw it out of my head. And sure enough, I'm doing something else that's mindless, like maybe flossing my teeth, and I'll come in, she's difficult. Right? And the day of, I'm shaving, you know, I want to look professional, and it comes and she's difficult. So I'm like, oh great. Anything else? Hello? Nothing. Okay? I come in. She comes in, and she's sitting there, and she's saying, what? What? You can tell me. Like that. I am not exaggerating, unfortunately. But God bless her. It takes guts to put that forth, right? And I'm walking, sure enough, my hands clasping and pacing. And finally I said, she says to me exactly, I'm difficult, right? I said, yes. Why? And then she started to cry. And then we got to it. So Spirit will always give me the exact thing as a diving board, what's needed.
Yeah.
So what's going on with the money?
That was huge. That's what dissolved our family. The money.
Seems
the
to.
Money.
Nothing could dissolve love. Love comes to find itself. If the humans get it all screwy and mess it all up, it's because something is being vomited up that was there that needs to come forth to be vomited up. What's a vomit? It's an immediate release of a lot of toxins that have nothing to do with love vibration, that have nothing to do with love creation, and that is not life sustainable. That's why that happened. The money, you all just jumped on the bandwagon and used it as a vehicle.
Yes, that's exactly what happened.
How are things now?
Better. Much better. You know, they're
step by step.
Step by step. And I know it's my father. My father is guiding us. My mother is difficult.
I know.
She's here. She's still here.
In the physical.
In the physical world. Yeah. And she has not evolved past
her anger.
No.
No what?
She has not.
Right. But but that's what she's allowed.
Okay. I was hoping my father would talk to her. I was say, Dad, talk to her.
Okay, but the premise that she's doing something wrong is off.
Okay.
Because, first of all, that's part of her curriculum, not yours.
Okay.
And your curriculum is not for her to get it.
She doesn't.
Because that's true for all of us. We always think, this polarization. I get it, but they're the ones, it's them against us. We do this individually, we do this in our relationships, but we also do this as from one country to the other.
Yeah.
And what I'm saying to you is, what your mom is experiencing is doing perfectly. It's helping everybody else come together.
Okay.
Isn't it?
Yes, you know what? In a funny way, you're absolutely right, because we're so worried about her. We're always, what are we going to do about Mom?
So her curriculum is perfect for her, for what she needs to learn, and it's also perfect for you guys.
Okay. That's so interesting.
To get your own crap together. But once we go, isn't always...
She pushes you away. You want to love her, and she doesn't let you.
Well, you can love her anyway.
I do.
Right.
I do.
So, yeah. Well, maybe she's not good at it.
She's not.
And that's okay, because if you look at where she came from, her mother, that comes up.
Oh, yeah.
All right, I don't know why I didn't live that life. Trust me, I'm busy with my own life, and I'm trying to figure that out. You're like, you get all this information. Your life must be so easy. I'm like, no. But you guys helped me a lot because I learned from your learning, your life experiences, and you leave me a little bit better than when you found me. That's the truth. Rooted in love as opposed to rooted in pain, rooted in gain as opposed to loss. So what I'm saying to you is, your mom stuck around because she wanted to learn more, right? Because there were 1 or 2 health things that went on.
Oh, yes.
Right, with her. So she's still here for a reason. Don't sign on to their behavior. In other words, if you want to buy her flowers, you buy her flowers. And just say, well, why'd you do that?
Exactly!
And you say, because
that's my mother.
I love you. And let her be uncomfortable with that.
So,
you don't just become what they want you to do. I never met a woman that does that with a man. Don't do it with your mother. So what I'm saying is, if you want to express love to someone, just express it. But don't do it from a place of ever charity or because you pity.
Okay.
That's a really big thing.
You know what? That's a lesson.
Yeah.
And that resonates with me because I do out of pity.
No.
It's love. I
understand what you're saying.
But I do.
Obligation. And I'm saying,
yes.
No. Do it because take a moment before you act and just see something beautiful about them. There are endless beautiful things about everybody. Seriously.
Very true.
Even you, Carrie.
She's going to laugh.
Like for her, it's mother. But I'm not going in her file. And I'm not telling you unless you pay me. No, I don't know what will come in, if anything will come in. Sometimes I don't, it's not, my thing is not, when I say mother, I'm not saying her mom's a spirit. I'm saying, I don't get that.
Right.
But issues, but I'm not even saying that's what it is.
Yes.
I'm in a way I'm being flippant, but I usually don't be flippant about it.
That's absolutely right what you're saying.
But don't tell me I'm right because it's her business.
Okay.
But what I'm saying is, because I have a big thing, if someone says, if I'm going over someone's stuff, like I'm not going in deeper with yours because we're on camera. But it came up that it was okay for me to say that. And that's all that was being said.
It's okay for you to say anything.
Oh, I know, but I'm just saying,
absolutely anything.
And
I get it
something
from,
about
it's
an aunt comes up regarding you as well. I have no idea, an aunt. I don't know, but
okay.
But so that's what your dad wanted me to really touch upon or say.
Maybe it's my Aunt Mary.
But it's an aunt, someone that you'll know.
Okay.
Because usually, and they're in spirit, I'm sure, right?
It's my Aunt Mary.
Yeah.
I think it is.
Yeah, and why would it be Aunt Mary? Watch this, or if you can hear.
Well, Aunt Mary is my great Aunt Mary, and that's.
And who was she to you? Because what will always come in. What?
My father.
But what was she like for you?
Oh,
what will come
beautiful lady.
Right.
I loved her.
Always, what will come in is what's around someone's heart.
Yeah, she's a beautiful lady.
You loved her.
I loved her.
And she loved you, and she let you know she loved you.
She's amazing.
Yeah, you knew.
She loved my father. My father adored. They loved each other.
Right, but you just delighted in her.
Oh, I loved her.
Right, and she delighted in you. And she made it clear.
She had so many. I don't even know how she kept everybody straight. She had 1 million grandchildren, great grandchildren.
Right.
She lived to be 101. You'd see her, and she'd know exactly. I was like, she.
Right. But she
amazing.
comes in. And my job, I feel fulfilled just by delivering the message.
Thank you.
And that you get that there's so much love held for you. Therefore, it is significantly important, you notice I'm banging the table, that you live your life more fully in love.
Okay.
That's huge. I'm
yes,
grateful
it is
for this
huge.
opportunity, but this is more important.
I intellectually know that, and I
know,
don't make the connection. Sometimes I do. I have, momentarily, and it's beautiful, and I feel like.
I'm going to give you a little.
Okay.
I'm going to give you a suggestion.
Okay.
Slow down. Start saying no to some things and yes to other things. Don't just just try it. Try it out. It's like trying a new breakfast cereal. Okay? I hear you laughing. Try what it's like to do something else. Right now, people ask me so many different things. They'll call me up. I have some people say, "What are you getting? What are you getting?" And this one guy, this doctor, I'll say, "Tommy, give me a hit. What are you getting on me? You know, or tell me about my mother. Tell me about," like, what I can tell you right now, what's going on the planet, planetary wise,
Yes.
is back at the ranch. It's all about change.
Yes.
And it's about choosing, making a change, and choosing something else. You don't have to even decide what that is. And I know it sounds kind of vague. What I mean by it is, you don't have to have a plan. You don't have to have a map. You don't have to have a degree. Just decide, I'm going to make a different choice. I don't know what that is, but I'm open
Yeah.
to a different choice. And thus what will come in is a different experience. And what will come in is an experience that is vibrating higher, or a vibration, an experience that is more of love, a vibrational experience that is rooted in love, as opposed to what you've had up and going. Because you know, you can feel it. We all feel this change, this escalation of getting on with it. Watch this. One of the things I do is I do advanced pendulum. That means I go through your physical anatomy, but also your non-physical anatomy. If I'm not getting something here that I'm detecting physically that's going on with you, or non-physically, I'll check with the pendulum. I not only use advanced pendulum, I teach it. And I'm good at it. So you're locked out. Right? So this is a pendulum. This is a self-clearing pendulum. It's a very special, unique one because it has these rings, so it holds more frequency, energy, and it clears. In other words, if I'm clearing something on you, it's not, I don't have to then go clean or clear. My pendulum is already clear. I don't have to soak it or do any smudging on it or anything. Notice it's naturally going clockwise. I don't know if you can tell from there, but it is.
I can't.
In pendulum world language, that means yes. Counterclockwise is no. Watch. Is Luther Vandross in front of me? No. So in case you confuse yourself with the big black man, we got that all cleared up.
I had.
Okay.
All right. That's
No, I'll
good to
say
know.
things in a funny way because it's just the way I am.
No, and
I don't believe spirituality should be something quiet as if you're.
No, I know. That's what we
You know,
learned
it's very
growing.
profound and quiet as if you're squeezing out a poop. Okay? It's about joy.
It is. And that was
Joy
my
is a
father.
high vibration.
My father's a singer.
Good.
I hear your beautiful voice.
Thank you. Maybe it's just your ears and we all sound horrible and it's your ears that make
No,
it
I
better.
think I have a pretty. I can't sing, but
I know,
I hear. You know. Yeah.
Well, you can sing. Everyone can sing. Right?
Yeah.
Singing, listen, the good book says make a joyful sound. It doesn't say make
That
a
is so
marketable
funny.
sound.
You know, my father would say. My brother-in-law said to my father, he goes, I was driving home from work, trying to stay awake, and I was singing along to the radio, and I heard myself, and I thought, I sound horrible. Ugh, it's disgusting. And my father said, that's the voice God gave you. Give it back to him. And I thought, that is beautiful.
Yes, yes. You have this, well, first of all, let me finish. So this goes naturally clockwise because the universe naturally says yes. So when we open ourselves to choose a different idea, we don't have to know what it is, but we're just open to something other than what we normally or ordinarily choose, we move into going along with the universe, or we let the universe take us. And it's a yes, and that means it's yes, all inclusive of our greatest hearts, our greatest desires, as opposed to, I know better, or pushing it away. So recognize what your mother is, and recognize what she's mirroring back to all of you.
Okay. Okay.
Okay? You celebrate your father as if you are absent of those qualities. And that's not okay.
Okay.
That's inaccurate.
I feel like I mimic him.
Right. But not are. You're not supposed to be him. But he gifts, you come in through both of them for a reason, and you have those qualities. So mimic is different than I am.
Yes, it is.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So you say that's true, that you feel that's not something you are, that it's something you you wish it could be that, but you're lacking.
I
And
feel like
saying,
I'm acting.
Yeah, and you're not. I'm saying you are as beautiful. You need to get that. I'm fine with it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That means, what does that mean? It means bring that into your life. Bring more of what you are in your life and say, you know what, I am that too. And where does that take you? It makes you make different choices. And it makes you maybe be bigger one moment or be quiet in another moment and not miss what's happening. Take in its beauty and maybe say what needs to be said, even if it's unpopular or whatever, or maybe just receiving. Because someone that talks like that can only say those things from having received and recognizing the worth of something valuable, which is love. You know? Also, your mom, how did she feel with your father's passing?
You know, she emotionally disconnected, but she is emotionally disconnected.
Right.
But she did.
Were they close?
Yes. Yes.
Right. How? So.
Very.
She
Very.
has a right to be upset as long as she wants.
She's mad at him.
I know.
She says sometimes she sees him, and I'm sure she does.
Yeah.
And she's so angry.
That's what I know. I'm trying to.
Yes.
I'm kind of walking you to that.
Yes.
That's what I get.
She always felt like he didn't.
He could have done more.
He could have done more. He didn't
Right.
show her that. She always felt like she loved him more. He didn't love her, but that goes back to her childhood.
I know. So what I'm saying to you is she's working her stuff out.
Yeah.
She's allowed to have those feelings.
Yeah.
Can you love her anyway? And
She's
you
hard
do.
to love. I do love her.
I know. I didn't say
like
spend time with
she
her.
defies you to love her.
Oh, trust me.
She does.
I have 4 brothers, right? And I love them all. But yes, they are. How they build our muscles in love. I'm just saying, you have some good love muscles, right? So, do it your way.
Okay.
Not in opposition. Say, still love you.
But yeah, whether you like it or not, Mom.
Here's some purple. I brought you some purple tulips. You know?
Beautiful. She loves tulips.
Yeah. Usually if it comes in, it's because it's what they love.
She does.
Yeah. So that's a little bit of what I do. And so someone comes in, I'll go through their energetic anatomy to see what they're holding non-physically, whether it be from this time or another time.
Mm-hmm.
I can say past lives. It is past lives, but there's really no such thing. It's really simultaneous lives.
It's interesting.
So, and that's why it's affecting them. And the whole point of them moving into the fullness of light now is because they get to affect all those lives and change what has been, which is doable. So if they're holding a grievance or a construct from another lifetime that's limiting, it's going to show up in this lifetime. Why? Because they're at a higher vibration. And at a higher vibration, something of a low vibration comes up to be released. So everyone on the planet is releasing a lot of stuff because at this point on the planet, out of the timeline, which is not from here to here, before and then in the future, and us in the middle, where my nose is, it's this way.
Mm-hmm.
So at this point in the timeline, whether it's this way and this way, it's 360. Or what I call unity, 360 degrees from center. And I actually do a workshop on it. That's what it's called. Is what's happening at this point of now, the most powerful moment is now, right? Is you're vibrating so much higher that you're not only affecting your present experience and all the experience on the planet. That's why everything is changing. No one knows what to do. No one knows what to do. From the politicians to the doctors to the plumbers, water mains, everything. Just, right? This is supposed to happen. Because it wasn't working, right?
Yeah.
So what's going on? We're going to a higher vibration. At a higher vibration, something of a lower vibration is being released. Everything is coming up to be released from the now, but also it allows you, from this perspective, from this divine point of reference, to affect what has been and what will be. Where in that sense, we start to understand that we are, in fact, multidimensional beings. And because we can then then we get it, because we're also used to rolling up our sleeves. And what can we do, though? How do I use that? How do I put that into action in my life? You, by holding more love now, affect everything going out in all directions. You can't afford not to hold love. It is the reason why you came. And that doesn't mean you have to take a workshop. It doesn't mean you have to do anything. Oh, just by drawing breath, you bring the planet up. So bash yourself all you want, but you're doing a great job. People come to see me because they start to get it on some level, or they realize they need assistance. They'll say, help. No, maybe I'll assist you. You're powerful. You're not lacking. When I teach healers, when I teach different modalities, the first thing I say to healers is, I'll say to them, don't show up to a place and think that someone's broken. No one is in need of repair, no one is ill, no one is broken. They're having a divine experience, and they've invited you to it because there's something there for you to learn. So you show up holding space in love and being open to receive and giving love, and that's it. Don't be showing up as if they need you because the poor little thing, they're there. Because then you have someone having a divine experience, and you have yourself showing up being very arrogant and missing it, clearly, clueless.
Yeah.
You show up to hold space in love, to witness and support, and to assist them. Because trust me, someone that's having a disease, or what I call a learning intensive, cancer, for example, is a learning intensive. Ask anyone that's been on it. It's like going to college and taking 72 credits in one semester or more. They're a very powerful person. They're affecting not only their life, they're affecting everyone's life around them. And it's a very far-reaching web. Purposefully, that's a powerful person. Steer them into love. And then they really can send out something extraordinary. Into themselves, they can take it into themselves, and then it goes out. So, how you can assist yourself or anyone is just, why do I keep doing that thing that I do? Let me do something else. Well, come clean with yourself. I'm on to myself. I'm doing that because I don't know why I do it. Oh my God, I think it's because I'm afraid, or I don't feel loved, so I do that, or I'm afraid to love, so I do this, or I learned that and I've gotten comfortable with whatever, bashing myself or putting myself down, or not thinking I'm one of those, or I think this is okay to present myself because I don't give myself much importance, and I don't know why I do that. Start looking at how you live and how you can live differently. It's not a big work thing. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Start with something small. Drink more water.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
I'm being serious. So I'll go through and I'll see what what they're experiencing. A lot of times, very often, they're holding something energetically that's not in alignment with what they want to create. So I will clear it, assisting them to clear it, but I can't clear it without their permission.
Can you show me on camera something you would do for? Would you say?
So when someone comes in for a session,
yes.
I'll get information. Like it'll happen. Sometimes they'll come in.
Could I come over
I have
to
to
you?
walk. Yeah, you can. I'll walk past them and I'll have to write on the board because there's a list of stuff.
Okay.
Or like for you, your father.
Yes.
I'll say, what is that about? Do you know what it's about? And you'll say, absolutely, I know what it's about. I can't believe you used to have that. We'll get past that. And very often the person will cry, whatever, and that's fine too. And that's good. And a lot of times I'll listen to them because you know what? Very often people are never heard. And people need to be heard. And that's a big part of healing. What is healing? The real meaning of the word healing is movement into wholeness. Okay?
Yes.
So to help assist you into moving into wholeness, you just need to be heard. And I like to spend maybe 5 or 10 or 15 minutes on that. I don't like to go over that because I want to see if there's anything that would serve you to be cleared, not fixed, or received. Remember, when you're clearing a block, if someone has a block in their chakra, we'll deal with the energetic anatomy, your chakra system.
What's the difference between, may I ask you, chakra and an aura? Is that the same thing or is
No.
it different?
So for example, your non-physical anatomy, you have your physical anatomy, right?
Okay. Yes.
Your non-physical anatomy would be your chakra system, You have, right now we define on the planet that you have 7 major chakras.
Okay.
You have your root chakra where you sit between your front and your back, where your buns are, right? Then above your Nordy bits, you have right below your belly button, 2 inches, you have your sacral center. So you have your root chakra, your sacral center.
Yeah.
You have your solar plexus above your belly button.
Right.
Your gut, I feel it in my gut. That's that area. My heart chakra is the middle of the chest. Throat chakra. Third eye, or your noble brow, right here. Crown. Then you have a slew of chakras off the body that go up. You have chakras beneath your feet, and you have chakras, secondary chakras, in your hands, your knees, and your feet. That's why you see, I think, the real statue of Jesus, when his hands are up like this, he's actually sending light out through his secondary chakras. No one says, hello.
No.
Right?
Well,
so, and that's why when you automatically see, when you see the statue as opposed to him on the cross, you see this.
Who
I'll tell you a second.
Okay.
So when you see the hands up, and you go, that moves you because it is a universal, on a soul level, it's a universal sign that there's an exchange of light, or love energy, or Christ energy. Not Jesus juice. There's a difference. Everyone's a Christed being. We're talking about Christ energy. The universe is created out of Christ energy. Gold is synchronized with Christ energy. The sun, Christ energy. So when this comes up, what we're getting is we're receiving or being given from source, an expression of source. So when we see that, we're like, as opposed to suffering. So to finish up the chakra system, your chakras are an energy system. It's think of your computers or your energy little vortexes through your body. And they affect all your physical anatomy. So what you experience in your physical anatomy first shows up in your chakra system and your aura, or your fields. Your energetic field, here's your physical field that comes out about 1.5 to 2 feet from your physical body, 1.5. And then you have what's an etheric casing. And then you have your emotional field, your mental field, and then your karmic or spiritual field. Your fields, everyone's fields radiate really far out from the body, and they also pass the feet and all the way around you. It's not just out this way. So what happens is you're walking through, when you're walking down the street, remember we said this earlier? You scan someone, you're scanning their field. You're seeing if they got some funky mojo in their field, and is it safe for me to walk towards this guy or this group of people?
Yes.
And you're doing it when you get on the path, you're doing it all the time, when you approach someone at the bank, when you're at the market, shopping, when you go to, particularly when we go to check out our food, or in a store, we go to a register, you scan the person to see how the transaction's going to go. You definitely scan people when you're going to return something.
Yeah.
Always. Alright?
Yes.
You're looking for you're scanning them to see if they're going to be nice, if this is going to go well, or if the person is a ding-a-ling. It's true.
Well,
you scan them if you're asking for someone for help.
Yeah.
Okay? So, if you're in alignment with your light, or vibrating higher, you just know things. So, first thing people have to decide, they're done being a mess. No one is a mess, but they're done desiring to be a mess.
Desiring to be a mess.
Yes. There are 2 things. There is deliberate ignorance, intentional ignorance, and there's a desiring to be the mess. And what happens when we move into a high vibration, we stop with the intentional ignorance. That's what the planet's doing now, because we've been ignorant of a lot of things, how we treat each other, what's going on actually happening. And also we're done being a mess. Right? So we're moving there. So in terms of answering your question, so what goes on, if anything's affecting you physically, like how's your feet? How are your feet generally?
They're okay.
Now.
Yeah.
But.
I am,
I don't know, I'm asking, I'm not living your life. We just met.
They're not.
Why do your feet come up?
My feet. Because I'm short.
Okay.
I wear heels, and I try not to wear high heel. I can't.
Let's go a little faster.
Okay.
Here.
Okay.
Do your feet ever ache?
Yeah.
Yes, thank you. Okay, because that's what comes up.
Okay.
Okay. Because if most to a dwarf person, you are not short. So
also the
that has nothing to do with, and so I know you're saying, you're talking about you wear heels, thus therefore you wear heels and all that. But what I'm saying too is, okay, but I see you rubbing your feet.
Okay.
Do you rub your feet?
Yeah, not a lot though.
No, I didn't say you do all the time.
Yeah,
That would be strange.
Yeah.
I see you sitting and on occasion rubbing your feet.
Sometimes.
Oh, not everyone does that.
Yeah.
Like I don't take my shoe off, and I don't sit here, and I don't sometimes.
Yeah, I don't. Honestly, I don't do that.
Okay, what do you do?
I come home and I take my shoes off.
Yeah, I get that.
I just I'd rather not wear shoes.
I understand, but I'm saying sometimes I get that your feet bother you.
Yeah, I can't.
So
they're
I'm just
not
using.
a mess.
Okay, I didn't say they were. I'm giving you a slight example.
Yeah, they're probably gonna get worse.
Okay, I'll give you a little example.
Yes.
Okay, I'm not going into digestive stuff.
Yes.
Okay.
Digestive.
Right? Why?
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Do you think I have a problem?
No, I didn't say I have a problem, but I get digestive.
Okay.
Anything digestive?
I think I digest things pretty well. I think I do.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I'm pretty regular in that hole.
Okay. So what's in this area?
Fat. This is.
No, I'm not talking about fat. Okay.
This is fat.
Let's just. Well, I know, but when's the time you had a physical?
Not that long ago. I want to say maybe less than a year.
Okay. And how was your blood work? How was everything?
I have slightly high cholesterol, but otherwise.
Okay, so that would be in this area.
Okay. Yeah, I need to. I know.
Okay.
But
So-
I'm basically okay.
So how it works for me, in the
Okay.
interest of the thing, is I'll get information. There's something going on in this part of your body.
There was something going on.
No, I'm saying I'll get that there is
Oh.
something going on. Not major, because if it was major, I would come right out and tell you. I
Okay,
don't care about the camera.
please tell
I don't
me.
get anything major.
Okay.
All right, but there's this, so I do intuitive work, but I was just getting a little bit with the feet. I was just
Okay.
using that as an example.
Yes.
All right, so a little bit of the feet sometimes bother you.
Sure.
Right,
Sometimes.
all right. And I'm saying what
You're getting a
happened.
little bit here.
Sorry.
You're getting a little bit of.
No, I was just tracking you a little.
Okay.
Bit. Knees. Okay.
Sure.
Right. So what I'm getting is your connection to the earth needs to be strengthened.
Okay.
And it has to do with your energetic field, and it's showing up in your physical body. So my suggestion to you would be is I'll go through and see what's going on where you're holding it, but also actively you can do some things in your life that will help as well. Right?
Mhm.
So, for example, simple one is if you have sneakers that are really old or shoes that are really old, maybe you need to get new ones. I mean, it's some common sense things.
Mhm.
And if you're wearing shoes that bother you, don't.
Yeah.
All right, 1. 2, or maybe that's 3. Do you have a spiritual practice where you're meditating, where it's not a big heavy thing, but you're actually grounding yourself to the earth so that the flow of energy that comes in through you is not boggled up, like you're not constipated with this energy, that it flows out through your feet and your legs and through your hips down your legs, and what will happen is your digestive system will go better, your hips and your knees won't bother you at all,
Mhm.
and neither with your feet, unless you put stones in your shoes. Okay, and that's just something you're creating purposely. But just how I'm saying,
I do.
so your anatomy or your biology, all right, or your what's that term? Your non-physical becomes your physical,
Yeah.
or it's just basically you're a thermometer and a magnet, right? So you're getting information. Your body's telling you how you're living your life.
Mhm.
So that's how I help people, and I'll sometimes they'll come. I don't know them, whether it be 5 people, many, or to a couple hundred, and not in this room, and I'll be doing melodies that will come in, and I'll have many people that come up to me that don't know each other coming up to me telling me they're vibrating in the same place, or that their hearts were palpitating. I'm like, oh my God, you okay? When I get to the 15th, 18th person having the same experience, they don't know each other, I realize something's going on here that's beyond my scope of understanding, but it's because I'll ask how they're, oh, I feel great. So they're opening up their heart chakra. Very often I'll go to an event, I'll have to bring a thing of cough drops. In that basket there with the goose on it has the golden cough drops, because it never fails. While I'm doing this, it starts opening people's throat chakra. Remember, this is where we express our truth in life, right? And what happens is they're coughing because their throat chakra is blocked and it's opening, and I'll have cough drops so that I don't want to hear a thud. We got to stop the whole event, because the choking. So they'll have a cough drop. It helps every time. So that's one. So I'll do intuitive. They'll come in. I'll give information. I'll write on the board. I'll get information from someone that's deceased that comes in for them or not. Usually, people come in. And then I'll ask the pendulum, or I'll just know what is the best modality for them that could best assist them in their evolution in this point in their life. It could be advanced pendulum session. It might be sonic, where you lie on the table and I take you through sonic, which is not a known modality because it comes in through me. It hasn't been on the planet for thousands of years. This is what I've been told. I go, please. But yeah, and it's very powerful. Or I'll do tuning forks, right? People come in for tuning fork sessions, where I'll go to different points in your body with your meridians and points on your body. And if I just do this, may I?
Yes, please.
So why don't you step this for a second, see maybe I know. So you can turn this way more. Okay, there you go. Okay. And you hear that.
Yes.
And it immediately brings you to a state of anxiety or peace. Peace. Right? Just a fill in the blank question.
Yes, please.
Yeah. But if you disagree with me, I want you to say, no, bright one, you're wrong.
No, I like that.
Okay.
I think it's
So,
nice.
I'm going to touch you with this.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Please do whatever you want.
No.
I
Watch
like,
it.
Do whatever
So,
you want.
no. How's that?
I like that.
Right. Because this is, the pitch of this particular tuning fork correlates to the pitch of your chakra. Everything has a pitch. So, that is bringing that into a state of peace, but also is opening it up. Where it's very different than this. And you'll like this. Right? Yeah. And you'll also like if I do this. If I do this again. Sorry. You like them both.
I do.
Right. These correlate to those specific points on your body. And so your body's going, Right.
It's relaxing me.
Right. And which allows you to breathe more deeply. Which allows your adrenal system, your flight or fight system, to calm down. Which allows you to move into a higher level of homeostasis. This is all science. Which allows you to flourish in your physical apparatus and your non-physical apparatus, which means everything in your environment and your physical body. So that means you start vibrating higher. Guess what? You start having experiences that are higher vibrationally, and you start bringing in to your reality higher vibrational experiences. Why? Because you can only bring into your reality a vibrational match. So people come to me to vibrate higher.
So that's what...
I change what you resonate. I change what you vibrate. And at a higher vibration, what was in the past or at a lower vibration not possible moves into being very possible. Matter of fact, and that so much so that then anything is possible. Think of this. Einstein says, I love Albert. He says,
big fan.
Right. I love the hair. Jealous. So he says, the solution of a problem cannot be found at the same level of vibration that it was created at. So, or Edgar Cayce, it's right on their wall at their center where I used to be on their board, says, I forget the exact quote, but talks about the future of medicine is vibration. And that only in moving to a high vibration is there true healing. But which is brilliant, but going back to Albert, and I'll think anything that supports my work brilliant, but going back to Albert, is the solution of a problem cannot be found at the same level that the problem was created at. So if we move to a higher vibration, then we can move into not just solving a problem, we realize that there's no problem, let's just do something different. That there was no problem, just that was what we created at that level of vibration. And at a higher vibration, we'll create something else. And at a higher vibration, people can't be sick. So disease drops out. Injuries drop out. that's true healing. So it's assisting you moving into a higher level of vibration, and that's what sound does. So when I do, how you doing?
How am I doing?
Yeah,
I'm doing good. I'm having good experience with you, Roger.
That's all that matters.
Yes, I'm.
No offense to you all out there, but the encounter we have with each other is more important than anything else.
And you have beautiful eyes.
Oh, thank you. I'm not taking you to dinner.
Damn! I'll take you to dinner, Roger.
Okay, thank you, Angela. Relax, lady. So this comes in from Gabriel. How do I know? I just know. It was like, if you call me, I recognize your voice. And don't listen to it as a spectacle. See how it feels.
Yeah,
take it in.
That's what I want to
Okay.
do.
And you can hear something very old about it, and very familiar, and very truthful. And then Divine Mother comes in right away, which means a child that is loved can do anything. And she says we, and it is she, because it's you and I. She says she's with you always. And not just you individually, Angela, but every life stream on the planet, every human, every life form. We, and together we create a new reality. We. So what happens with me is I'm open. Why me? Because I'm just open and I listen. And I get sung by the angelic realm very often. So the opening was angelic realm, and then Divine Mother comes in.
I hear men and women in your voice.
Right. So they all, and
Yes.
sometimes when I'm singing, people come up to me. I can't tell you how often. You know, when you were singing, I heard other voices.
I did.
Like while I was
And
singing.
I heard harmonies.
Right, and this will always happen because what will come in is, and this is a very hard thing to let them know, well, for you to, well, we're letting you know, so maybe it's not that hard. But what's going on is, for you to experience it, you just have to be here, because what will happen is, you'll hear other harmonies and voices, and you get the full presence of the company of heaven come in.
Absolutely.
And
I felt
I
like
just, like all of us, I just started by just saying, yes, use me. And when we each start to do that, the heaven that is already present on the planet comes forth full and strong. And that's what my work is about. It's about joy. Joy is here. Heaven's not a mile up and you make a left. We bring
I don't
it.
think it is.
We bring it. It is here.
It's here.
We're moving into a high, we come to the planet, all of us, to move everyone to a higher vibration, to recognize that it's here, to love ourselves and to love each other. And in doing that, heaven comes forth strong. When I say heaven, I don't mean anything religious. I'm not into religious at all. You bring it, if anyone brings up religion, I'm just like, I'd rather go have pizza.
You know, I don't want to take up too much of your time with this.
No.
My father and I would, you know, my father's very religious, Catholic, and I was raised Catholic. And
So was I.
Oh.
I used to go in as a little boy. This is me. You know that thing they say? Two things I used to do that I think used to make people feel uncomfortable. One is you'd go in, it'd be like 500 people or 1,000 people.
Yeah.
everyone's facing the altar, and there's usually has a crucifix on it.
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh my God, that poor guy. And in the back, above the organ, upstairs, there is this big stained glass window with a dove in the middle.
Yes.
So I would come in, everyone's facing that way, and I'd just face this way. I'd be staring right at it, like, enjoy. This was me as 4, okay? And, or when, and I've always had a thing about the dove. It had nothing to do with religion, always, 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 okay? Even on my card.
That has to do with God.
Has to do with the expression, that expression of source.
Source.
I don't want to say God, because God, more people have been...
God is energy.
God is, God, there isn't anything that's not God.
Yes.
So,
yes, I agree.
and one expression of source is you. You're an expression of source. But you weren't on the stained glass window that time when I was a little boy. I probably would have been looking at you. But instead it was a dove. So that expression of source, the dove or the Holy Spirit or the feminine expression of the Creator, whatever you want to call it, that wisdom and love, I was drawn to it like, whoa, not the suffering part. Then, you know that saying, Lord, I'm not worthy to receive you, only say the word, we shall be healed. You know that they had, you'd say that?
Sure.
I couldn't say that. I was just like, no,
that doesn't make any sense.
This is what I used to say. Well, I understand now
I get it,
what they mean by it. But when we were taught by rote to say it, I was like, I'm not saying this. And I thought to myself as a little kid, what do I really feel? I mean, this is what I used to say. Lord, I used to say this out loud. When I was saying the wrong thing. I remember this lady looking at me like, what are you saying? And like if she was going to report me, I used to say, Lord, I am worthy to receive you. Help me to know my light so I may share it in the world.
That's a beautiful prayer.
Right, so that's what I used to say. And this lady would be looking at me with a man on the left of me would be looking at me like, what's that? And then I was an altar boy.
You were.
And I used to get giggle fits. And this is when they used to have the bells.
Yeah.
So I used to...
I think they still have
you know,
bells.
you know how you're not supposed to laugh? You know when you're not supposed to laugh,
That's
you start
when
to
you
laugh. So, oh my
I was
God.
always laughing in church.
But your father, you said, was... Oh, but let me show you something. Stay around.
Okay.
That way someone stays on camera. So, this is my car. So once I was at an event, and I was asked to, by Spirit, Candace Pert, she's a physicist, she was in the movie What the Bleep, I think she was either nominated for a Nobel Prize or she received one, but anyway, she was giving a lecture in Manhattan. And a couple of my friends wanted to go, and they asked me if I wanted to go. I said, okay, fine. I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden I'm told I'm going to be doing sound healing at that event. I'm like, oh no, leave me alone. And Spirit. And like, and they're, I'm being told, and I'm like, no. And I'm getting yes. And I'm like, no. It's almost like a Don DeLuise moment when you say no, yes, no. And my friends look like, what's going on? I'm like, oh, nothing. So, but they knew something was up with me. So on the break, I said, okay, I'll go up and ask her a question, because I had a question, and put myself in the range or field of availability of something to transpire. And if it doesn't, it doesn't. But then I went in, I just want to be at peace.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like a heckling thing, but it's just the angelic realm, kind of, the spirit realm, asks very, if you could, kind of thing. But and usually it's a good thing, so you might really want to, or it's not so much a good thing, just could you, and kind of like, and sometimes really with a little weight to it, but it's your choice, right? It's not you better or else. It's not the mob. So I went up there and I'm waiting. This lady in front of me talking to Candace Pert, long and telling everything about herself, and holding her scarf and everything. And I go and I get up to her and she said, would you mind, I just have to go to the bathroom. I said, no problem. She says, you can ask me at the end. I said, no problem, really. And I said, I did my best and I walked away. At the end, and this is when I was kind of a closeted sound healer. And at the end, there's a microphone for people to get up to ask questions. And I wanted to ask them a question because at the time I was treating someone that was on a learning intensive of testicular cancer. And he had such a huge mass in his heart that it pushed his heart over to the other side.
Wow, that's amazing.
And he was brought home from the hospital to die on a morphine drip. And I came upon him, and long story short, I started working on him, and I kind of, when you start working with, you're doing energy work and you're working with someone, whether or not you become intuitive, because you're dealing with very high stakes in life. And he started getting better. And his family calls me crying on the phone. Well, you don't know what to do. We were preparing for his death. We don't know what to do. What's going on? I'm like, I don't know what to tell you, but I wouldn't prepare for his death. I'm working with him as if he's going to live. That's what I can tell you. He ended up living, instead of dying those couple of weeks, he ended up living for almost 3 years longer, off his respirator, out of his wheelchair, off most, if not all, his meds. And I didn't know him when he was well. So when he was well, I thought he was really wired. And so I didn't know that's how he naturally was. I was just like, whoa, here we overdid it, But anyway, so I'm online at this event, and I want to ask her some questions, because her topic or her focus was, molecules and the brain, chemistry, and how, what we feel, our emotion, molecules of emotion, and what we feel affects, our biography affects our biology, so to speak. And so I get online, there are people ahead of me, I get online, and as I'm online waiting, the expression of source or the angelic realm is saying you have to, or my guides, whatever you want to call them, everyone likes to know it's my guides, it's this, it's all source. We like to separate it. And they're saying you have to say you're a sound healer. So I'm not saying that. You do. I'm not saying I'm a sound healer. Yes, you know, I'm not. I'm telling you, this was a strong argument discussion that was going on in my head with spirit. Because, in some of my training musically, I couldn't stand when someone would be self-proclaimed, oh, I have perfect pitch, or I can do this. And it's just like, oh, please. Yeah, but are you good? Or do you suck? And or do you move me? I'm that and So I didn't want to, I was just, no. And finally I said, okay, I'll say it. So I get up to the mic, and I say it. And and there's one woman behind me. And she goes, oh. I said, oh, you know what that is? She goes, oh, yeah. And then we start talking. And I start asking my question, and we start kind of getting engrossed in a conversation. And I think we both realized we have to kind of...
and there was an audience.
I think with the whole room, like a couple thousand people.
Wow.
At least, 2,000. And I'm just... And she says, do you mind... I asked you something. I said, sure. She goes, do you mind doing some sound healing? And I'm like, and I don't know why I said this. And I said, no problem. She goes, maybe something we can all sing along. And you have to understand, Angela. I said, okay. And I'm thinking to myself, why would I say that? Because I have no idea what's going to come out of my mouth, and it's never something someone knows. It's not a...
Do you have an appointment?
No.
Somebody was looking through.
Excuse me for a second, sorry. Victoria, I know that's you. Hey, how you doing?
Oh, purple, just like me, Roger. I miss you. I haven't seen you.
How's it going? Excellent.
Okay.
You listened.
I'm listening.
And you're drinking water.
I'm drinking water.
And you're doing light.
Light.
Excellent. That was all around. Sorry. So
She's very cute.
she's wonderful. She works downstairs. So I said, all right. And then it was interesting. She said, give me a second. She goes within herself. She says, yeah. I thought that was very interesting. I think she was connecting to spirit to check in. And I think that's good for all of us to do.
Yes. Yeah.
Is this best for me? That's why I was asking you on the phone. Listen, if you're getting something, today's not the day, then we don't do it. So, and I respect that, and it's something we all need to respect with ourselves. It's wisdom. We're getting divine guidance. Listen to it. So, and there are times when we have to haul ass, and that's important too. And being Italian, that's something we grew up on. Oh, please, suck it up, But anyway, so what came in was, she had everyone hold hands, someone there on the aisle, hold hands, and I start singing into this microphone, and I realize I can't sing in the mic because first of all I don't need it, but it's distracting because I don't want to be hearing myself, and so I step back, and so I'm going, but that started after a couple of tones. I didn't know that was coming in. That was probably the second time it ever came in. And And all of a sudden, involuntarily, I went, now everybody into the mic. Which was weird, because when you go to speak, and you haven't decided to speak, I can't tell you what that's like, because you always know when you're going to say something. So, and then all of a sudden, and I already done the melody once through. And listen to the melody. It makes big jumps, and they're high.
Oh.
We were singing as a group, the whole room, this melody, as if, and you'll understand this if you're Catholic, as if we were in midnight mass, perfectly in unison, singing Silent Night. And everyone holding the candle, and had that same feeling. When the melody finished, it was done. I squeezed the hands, I went back to my seat, everyone was in silence for at least 2 minutes, at least, which is sounds very short, but it's a long time in silence for airtime, or, well, airtime, forget about it, but it's for a group. Afterwards, my point of telling you the story, there was a line for Candace Pert, and there was a line for me. And people said, what do you call that? And I didn't know what to say, but what came out of me was the sound is love, because that's what it is. And eventually I had cards made, so on my card is the sound is love, and I have a dove, because that's what felt right.
Yep. Yeah.
Right? So anyway, so here's my card.
Thank you.
On the back is this, my initials. They said you have to put on it rah. I said I don't want to do that. So, but it has to do with the sun. And then one day it was like, your initials are R.A. I'm like, okay, that works. And the graphic designer, she says, I don't know why, but I felt guided to use these kinds of lettering and to put this little star up there off that shaft of the A. And I said, it's perfect. You know. But I didn't tell her to. So green is the heart chakra, blue is the throat chakra. Okay? So here you go.
Thank you.
So for me, in like your father, Catholicism, for me it was the dove, but I wasn't into religion. And it's a very big sign for me, or resonates for me big time.
Yes.
So very often in my work, what comes in as an expression of source is the angelic realm. And messages, very often, like right now, I'm planning a workshop that's called, I'm thinking of calling it Gumzer.
Oh, that.
And it has to do with unity. I told you unity, three. So it's Gabriel, Uriel, Michael, Zachiel, Raphael. And I have the M underlined a couple of times because really what comes in with Michael is Divine Mother, which some people might call Mother Mary, some people might call Mary Magdalene. You asked me earlier to tell you about Jesus. Okay.
I'm a fan.
Jesus was you should be, Jesus was a great guy. Jesus was a tough dude. He'd be no different than, let's say, Marlboro Man fused with Gandhi on a bicycle, motorbike.
Totally think.
And if you look at readings of history, not the Bible, history, and the History Channel's gotten into this a lot, which is great. It really shows that he wasn't really born in December. He was more born in April, so he's in Aries. And anyone that knows an Aries knows that you don't tell an Aries what to do.
My father was an Aries.
And you know when they finally erupt, they erupt.
Sure.
So you understand when Jesus flipped the tables over at the temple.
Ooh.
You know exactly where that was coming from.
Yep.
And he's either going to be an Aries or a Scorpio, but he's an Aries, and that's where the star was in the sky. And Mary Magdalene was his twin flame, and she was not. To discredit someone today, even to discredit a woman, you just say that she's a whore.
That's what the Catholic Church did.
But it was part of their platform. But instead of blaming the Catholic Church, you can't blame the Catholic Church for vibrating what the rest of the planet was vibrating.
Yeah, that makes
Everyone was vibrating.
But we know now that who she was.
But she had her own following like he had. That's why if you look at the Last Supper, half of them are women. Or very busty men.
Right, that's...
Right, so she had her own teaching, and they both belonged to a community called the Essenes. And they both were very advanced in that community. Mm-hmm. And this was their chosen path to bring in this light. So he was a Christ being. So was she. But if you have an agenda to create a patriarchal
Yes.
platform,
Yes.
and to choose only male writers. There are no female writers then, please.
Right.
There are female writers that predate Christianity. And to create this whole thing, there was a reason for that. That was part of their agenda. And there were some really beautiful writings in the Bible, as there are in many holy books.
Of course.
So Jesus was this great, great man that basically has the same message, that anyone that is rooted in anything
Like Buddha, like
that of love,
Gandhi.
which is to love
It's a beautiful
each other and love
message.
ourselves.
Yes.
How can you love someone else if you don't know what love is? So it has to be, it's not one or the other, it's both at the same time. And in my work,
He's a source to bring you to that.
he's
Like Buddha
one
is-
source for some people. For some people it's Buddha.
For some people.
For some people it's Gandhi. For some
Sure.
people it's Lakshmi. For some people it's
absolutely.
Kuan Yin.
Absolutely.
For some people it's Mary Magdalene.
Yes.
You go to the
For
the
Native
Church of the
Americans.
Magdalene in Paris, you see the statue is 50 feet tall on the altar of Mary Magdalene with an angel inside of her. You will way out. Beautiful. For American Indians, it's White Calf Indian woman, I think, or
Or many sources.
right.
Yeah.
Ganesha,
Yes.
big comes in for me. That's Hindu.